So I asked Jasper to tell me a joke about backlinks, and here's what I got. Why did the backlinks cross the road? To get to the other site. Okay, so not his strongest output, I'll give you that, but I still liked it enough to tell it, so what does that say about me? Anyway, that's my way of introducing today's topic, which is all about backlinks. Because I realized that I talk a lot about on-page SEO on this channel, and that's because on-page SEO is exciting. It's immediately actionable, and it's the kind of thing that in some cases you can see results relatively quickly. But there's this other side to SEO, and that's off-page SEO, which is basically backlinks from other websites. Backlinks are the bane of many bloggers' existence because they're not that easy to get, and it can take a lot of time and effort to build a robust backlink profile. And actually, it can be quite a grind. However, they're really important, so we need to talk about them. But what exactly are backlinks? Why do they matter? And how can you get them? I'm going to answer all these questions in today's video. And if you stick around until the end, I might just share a few more of Jasper's side-splitting SEO jokes, if you're lucky. If you're new to my channel, my name is Corey. I'm a writer and content creator, and it's my mission to share with you everything I know about how to make money online with your content. So if you want to stay in the loop on all my latest writing tips, be sure to subscribe. Quick disclosure, I'm an affiliate for some of the tools I talk about in my videos, and there are affiliate links in the description box below. This means that if you make a purchase after clicking on one of my links, I may earn a commission. So let's start with, what are backlinks? Why do they matter? Simply put, backlinks are inbound links to your website. That means other websites that are linking back to yours. There are two types of backlinks, do follow and no follow. Do follow backlinks are the links that count as endorsements by Google, and no follow backlinks are those that don't really carry as much weight. A no-follow link is created by adding the no-follow tag to the HTML, and it's used when a website doesn't want to vouch for the website that it's linking to. So for example, in most comment sections, the links are no-follow. Another example of a no-follow link is affiliate links. So as bloggers, we no-follow links because we have a financial interest in directing users to that site, and Google doesn't want those kind of links swaying the site's domain authority. So in general, you want to focus on building those follow links, but that doesn't mean that no follow links are bad. In fact, they're still part of a healthy backlink profile and can still drive traffic to your site. As for why backlinks are important, there are a couple reasons. First, they can help increase the reach of your content, especially if the link is coming from a site with a ton of traffic. Some of that traffic is going to funnel through to you naturally when people click on the link. But the most notable reason why backlinks are important, particularly the follow ones, is because of Google. Google uses a ton of different metrics to determine the ranking of a website or a web page, and backlinks are one of them. The number and quality of backlinks pointing to your website are used by Google to determine the authority of your site. A website with a lot of high quality backlinks is a lot more likely to rank higher in the SERPs than a website with fewer backlinks. That's because in Google's eyes, when another site links back to yours, it's like a vote of confidence. It's like they're saying, hey everyone, this is a quality, trustworthy source. So the more high quality backlinks you have, the easier it is for your site to rank high in the Google search results or the SERPs. Now that we know what backlinks are and why they're important, let's talk about the two main factors that make a backlink high quality. First, it needs to be relevant to your niche or industry. When the site linking to your website is related to your niche, that's a really good sign because it's telling Google that your website is an authority in that topic. So for example, if you have a blog about fashion, a backlink from another fashion blog would be more valuable than a backlink from, say, a cooking blog in general. The other factor is the domain authority of the website that's linking back to you. So domain authority, or DA, is a metric created by Moz that measures how well a website is likely to rank in the search results. It's based on a website's backlink profile and scores a website on a logarithmic scale from 1 to 100. The higher the DA, the more authority that website has. Now, it's important to note that this metric is not actually used by Google, but it is a good way to get a ballpark idea of how reputable the sites are to be perceived by Google. There are also other similar metrics, like Ahrefs has domain ranking, and SEMrush has its own domain authority ranking as well. You also want backlinks from sites that are not spammy. So when a website is filled with low quality, irrelevant content, and it's got links to all different websites, that's considered spam. Spammy websites don't rank well in the search results because Google knows that their sole purpose is to try and game the system. When looking for backlink opportunities, you want to avoid these kind of sites. Now let's talk about a few backlink no-nos. There's a right and a wrong way to go about building backlinks. Although there's lots of black hat backlinking tactics, there are two that a lot of people think about doing that they don't even realize could hurt their site. The first is buying backlinks. Google straight up does not want you to buy your backlinks. This is considered a black hat SEO tactic that can get your website penalized by Google. Now, you can pay an agency to outsource your backlinking, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about exchanging money with a site owner for them to link back to your site. Now, there's some controversy around this, but personally, I like to play it safe and I do not recommend this strategy. Likewise, if you have sites that are approaching you and offering to pay you money for a backlink, I would also stay away from those because you could get flagged as a spammy site and then all your hard work growing your site and your traffic goes out the window just because you were selling links. The second no-no is participating in link exchanges. So the idea behind this is simple. You find another website in your industry and you agree to link to each other's websites. While this tactic may have worked in the past, today it does more harm than good. Google views link exchanges as unnatural and manipulative. So participating in them could really end up hurting your website's ranking. Now, again, there are nuances to this, but as a general rule of thumb, I would just stay away from it altogether. So what is the right way to go about getting backlinks? Now, there's a few ways to go about getting backlinks, but one of the most effective, albeit most time-consuming, is through email outreach. And that's the method that we're going to be concentrating on today. In particular, there are 4 common strategies for getting backlinks through email outreach. The first is guest post pitching. This is probably my favorite way to get backlinks to your blog because not only does this net you a valuable backlink to your site, but you're also getting your name and your website out there and establishing yourself as an authority figure in your niche. Here's an example of a guest post I wrote for Thrive Global, and right in the first paragraph, I linked back to a post on my blog that's related to the topic at hand. The second type of outreach email is the valuable resource pitch. So another common tactic for creating backlinks is creating a free, valuable asset on your website for others to link back to. This one is a lot of work, but if you do it right, it can really pay off well. There's any number of assets that you can build. One example of a website asset would be like a free web tool, like a calculator or a generator. For example, on my website, I have a detailed weight loss calculator that lets people calculate how many calories they should consume per day based on their stats. Other examples include infographics, surveys, templates, or statistics pages. You can either create them yourself or pay someone else to do it for you. Once you create the asset, the idea is to then shop it around to blogs related to that topic and encourage them to link back to it. Another outreach strategy involves finding outdated or broken links on high-quality websites in your niche and then reaching out to them, encouraging them to replace the broken link with a link to your website. For this one, you typically need to use a tool like Ahrefs to find broken links, and then you would reach out to the website owner and let them know that you have a similar piece of content on your website that would make for a great replacement. Last but not least, there's the professional relationship outreach. Now, the idea with this one is to develop relationships with other bloggers and site owners in your industry and look for opportunities to collaborate. So this isn't the kind of thing where you're just emailing them to request a backlink right away. It's more like saying, hey, nice to meet you. I think our blogs complement each other. Maybe we could help each other out down the road. One intriguing thing that I learned about this recently was from Adam Enfroy. And if you haven't checked out his stuff yet, you definitely should because he's crazy successful. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars every month just from his blog. Anyway, one of his videos introduces this concept of, hey, I write X number of guest posts per month. Maybe I can shoot you a link in one of them. And I love this idea because, as we talked about earlier, link exchanges are not ideal. But this way, you are organically linking to another site as a resource in a guest post, and then in return, that site might link back to your website. So it's not a direct link exchange per se. So now the next big question is, how do we find sites and contacts to send our outreach emails to? Now there are a lot of methods, but I'll share a few ideas with you to get you started. The first way is to use Google search with advanced operators. These commands are notated by special characters and can be extremely useful for finding the exact web pages you need. There are lots of search operators, but I'm just going to talk about the ones that can help you find sites to pitch to. For example, if I'm looking for guest posting opportunities in the fitness niche, I can type in my niche and then combine it with an exact match phrase like right for us or guest post submission guidelines. And I would just do that by putting those terms in quotations. You can even search for multiple niches and terms by using brackets in the words or and to separate the terms. So for example, I might want to use a search that looks like this. Another good way to find potential sources for backlinks is by checking your competitors' backlinks by using an online tool like Ahrefs, SEMrush, or Moz Site Explorer. These tools allow you to see which websites are linking to your competitor's website. And you can check these sites out and see if there's a good blog post or web page that you can request a link from. And if you're a Surfer SEO user, they actually have an integration with SEMrush that helps you find backlink opportunities through the Grow Flow feature. If you want to keep costs down, I recommend getting a free Moz account. You do get a limited number of searches per month, but it's definitely enough to get you started. Once you have made a list of sites that you want to reach out to, the next step is finding the right contacts to email. You can do this pretty easily by using a tool like hunter.io or by looking up the website on LinkedIn and searching for content manager or marketing manager. And now for the fun part, which is writing the outreach emails. Your outreach emails are the most crucial step of this process because if your emails suck, then you aren't going to get a response and all this effort up until now will have been for nothing. How you structure your email will depend on the type of backlink you're requesting, but in general, there's a few universal rules that can help increase your chances of success. First, you want to personalize each email you send. Site owners and content managers get countless emails every week, and a lot of them, if not most of them, get deleted instantly. If you send out a boring, uninspired form letter that looks like it was sent to 300 other people, your email is going to get deleted. So the best way to avoid this is by personalizing each and every email that you send. This means that you need to research the contact and the site before reaching out, addressing the recipient by name, and referencing something specific about their blog or their website in a complimentary way. Next, you want to make sure that your email is about what you can do for them, not what they can do for you. Even though you're emailing them to get a backlink, you want the email to focus on how you can help that person. So remember, these people are busy, and the reality is they don't really have any reason to help you unless there's something in it for them. So for example, if it's a guest post request, you could focus on how your article will benefit their readers or how you could promote that article to get more traffic to their site. Or if it's an email requesting a link to your resource post, you would want to focus about how that resource would help the readers. Next, you want to make sure you keep your emails short and to the point. Nobody likes to read a long, rambling email, least of all busy site owners and content managers. So make sure your emails are short, sweet, and to the point. You should be able to get your message across in 200 words or less. The easier it is for someone to read and understand your email, the more likely they are to respond favorably. Last but not least, you want to proofread your email before sending it. For God's sakes, check your spelling before you hit send, because there's nothing more unprofessional than sending an email with a bunch of typos and grammatical errors. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten emails from people who clearly didn't bother to proofread their message or even spell my name correctly, and it's a big nope. I highly recommend getting the Grammarly Chrome extension to be your safety net in this process. Oh, and there's actually one more thing, and that is don't be afraid to send follow-up emails. So a lot of times those initial emails will get lost in the shuffle or wind up in someone's spam folder. So don't be afraid to reach out a second time if you don't hear back from the person after a week or so. Now, I get that writing outreach emails can feel really overwhelming. So if you need help with this, I just created a brand new Jasper recipe that's specifically designed to help you quickly write backlink outreach emails. And it's going to be available to all my exclusive Plus members on Patreon as of November 5th. My Patreon members get first access to exclusive content and new recipes every month for a much lower price than what it costs on my digital store. So if you're not a member yet and you would like to check it out, There's a link in the description box with all the details, and just be sure to sign up before November 30th to get the best deal. The last thing I want to talk about is tracking your progress. So as you work on getting more backlinks, you'll want to keep an eye on how things are progressing. The best way to do this for free is with your free Moz account, where you can look up your website and see how many backlinks you've netted for the month, as well as any changes in your domain authority rating. But just remember to be patient with this, because it can take many months to see a change in your domain authority and rankings, especially if you're a newer site. The best way to go about this is just to put aside a little bit of time each week to work on your backlink outreach and just make it an ongoing habit. You really only need to track your progress maybe once a month, because this process does take time. So I know this video had a lot of information and a lot of things to process. So if you need to, feel free to watch this video again, take some notes, or come back to it later when you're ready to start reaching out to other bloggers. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Just remember, link building is a process and it takes time to see results. So be patient, keep at it, and don't give up. Hey Jasper, write me a funny joke about backlinks. What's the difference between a backlink and a backstab? A backlink is when someone links to your site. A backstab is when someone links to your competitor's site. What's the difference between a no-follow backlink and a kidney? One is useless and the other is a vital organ. Knock knock. Who's there? Backlinks. Backlinks who? I don't know, but they're important. Okay, not his best one. Why did the backlink get a ticket? Because it was driving traffic in the wrong direction. How many backlinks does it take to screw in a light bulb? Only one, but it takes a lot of other websites to link to it first. You're welcome.